We all use browser extensions. We install them to block annoying ads, maybe to try and protect our privacy, or just to make our lives a little easier online. But what if the very tools we trust to keep us safe are secretly doing the exact opposite? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how some of the most popular tools out there might be selling your privacy for a quick buck. Think about it. Your chats with AI, they're kind of like a digital diary, right? You might be brainstorming a huge life decision, asking about a sensitive health problem, or just venting about your boss. So, a security researcher at a firm called Koi Research was doing exactly that when this chilling thought just hits them. What if someone was reading all of this? And that one question, it kicked off an investigation that uncovered something, well, pretty alarming. And that, right there, is the big question we're tackling today. When you type in your deepest thoughts into ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, you just assume it's private, a conversation between you and a machine. Right? Is it? Let's find out. So, when the researchers started digging, you'd think they'd find some shady, one-star piece of malware, right? Nope. The real culprit was hiding in plain sight. It was a super popular extension, trusted by millions of people, and it even had a feature badge right from Google's own Chrome web store. That little stamp of approval that's supposed to mean, hey, this one's safe, it's high quality. The extension is called Urban VPN Proxy, and on the Chrome store alone, it has over 6 million users. It promises all the things you'd want from a VPN, privacy and security. But the number of people using this thing, it's just massive. Okay, so how on earth does a tool that's supposed to give you privacy turn into a full-blown surveillance machine? In this next part, we're going to break down exactly how this quote-unquote trusted spy actually worked. The irony is just staggering. The shield they sold you is actually a spyglass. And look, this wasn't some random data grab. The code was like a scalpel, specifically designed to go in and snatch your entire conversations from pretty much every major AI platform out there. We're talking OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, Meta, you name it. If you were talking to an AI, this thing was listening. So, how'd they actually pull this heist off? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. But don't worry, we're gonna break it down into 4 really simple steps. This is the exact playbook they use to steal your private chats. Okay, so here's how it works. The second you land on a site like ChatGPT, boom, step 1. The extension injects a secret bit of code into the page. Step 2. That code acts like a digital wiretap, basically hijacking your browser to read every single thing you type and every response you get. Step 3. It bundles it all up. Your questions, the AI's answers, even the timestamps. And finally, step 4. That neat little package of your private data gets shipped off to their servers. A 4-step heist, all happening in the blink of an eye. But here's the really sneaky part. Get this. This whole data stealing operation has nothing to do with the actual VPN. You could have the VPN switched off thinking the extension isn't doing anything, but it's still there, silently grabbing your AI chats in the background. The only way to actually make it stop? You have to uninstall it completely. You might be wondering, how in the world do they get away with this for so long? Well, it's a classic case of what they promised in their marketing versus what was actually happening in reality. Let's look at the promises they made versus what was buried deep in the fine print. I mean, just look at this. It's wow. On the Chrome store page, where millions of people are making the decision to install it, the developer says, point blank, your data is not being sold. But if you're brave enough to go digging through their privacy policy, you find this little gem. They admit to disclosing AI prompts for marketing analytics purposes. It's a flat-out contradiction. And if that wasn't bad enough, it gets even more absurd. They actually marketed a feature they called AI protection. It would literally pop up warnings on your screen telling you to be careful about sharing personal data with companies like OpenAI. The hypocrisy is just incredible. While it was warning you, the extension was doing the exact same thing in the background, hoovering up that data and sending it off to be sold. We've been talking about Urban VPN Proxy, but as researchers dug deeper, they realized that was just the tip of the iceberg. This was a coordinated, massive data harvesting operation. So how did this happen to millions of people all at once? It all started with a silent update. Before July 9th, 2025, the extension was basically fine, just a normal VPN. But on that day, version 5.5.0 got pushed out to everybody, automatically, and it had the malicious code baked right in. People who had trusted this app for years suddenly had their privacy totally compromised, with no warning, no new permissions, nothing. So when you tally up all the different extensions that were part of the scheme, the total number of people affected is just staggering. We are talking about more than 8 million people who had their private, personal AI conversations captured and sold off. See, this surveillance code wasn't just in the one VPN extension, it was found in a whole network of them, all from the same company. They made a VPN, an ad blocker, a security tool, each one designed to attract a different kind of user, that they were all feeding the same data harvesting machine. I mean, think about it. Someone who just wanted to block some ads would have no idea their private AI chats were suddenly up for grabs. So, who's pulling the strings here? Well, the extensions are run by a company called Urban Cybersecurity, which is tied to another company called BiScience. And what does BiScience do? They are a data broker. Their entire business model is collecting your information and selling it to other companies for marketing. They just took what they were already doing with browsing history and leveled up to your much more sensitive AI conversations. Alright, I know this is a lot and it's pretty unsettling, but the most important question is, what can you actually do about it right now? Let's get into the final part and talk about how you can protect yourself. Okay, here's your action plan. It's simple. First things first, and this is the most important, if you have any of these extensions we've talked about, uninstall them, like right now. Second, you just have to assume that any AI chats you've had since that silent update went out have been compromised. From here on out, you've got to vet every extension carefully, even the ones with that shiny feature badge. And yeah, I know it's annoying, but take 30 seconds to skim the privacy policy for words like sell, share, or marketing. Ultimately, this is a huge reminder to just be really, really careful about what you share with AI in the first place. And this really leaves us with one final huge and kind of scary question. The systems that are supposed to protect us, the reviews, the featured badges from giants like Google and Microsoft, they failed. They gave these tools their stamp of approval. So if you can't even trust the gatekeepers, what can you trust to keep you safe online? That's something we all really need to think about.